Greetings, everyone! Welcome to Children of Rath, the Dungeons & Dragons game set in a Magic the Gathering world. So it's D&D meets Magic the Gathering. We're in Dominaria, we've been having adventures, it's been fun, it's been great. And
has it been great fun?
It's been great fun.
Yeah.
So, yes, we're down someone this week. Lindsay unfortunately had work and couldn't get out of it. They just scheduled her on an extra Thursday. Sad faces. Wintress will be missed for this week. But if you missed us last week, in their continuing adventures, they ended up in Serra, home of the Mesa Pegasi. The unfortunate thing here was...
And the jerk angels.
I mean...
Yeah.
Jerk angels, they're kind of jerks.
They're racist.
Racist.
They really are.
Yeah,
There's no
Racist.
two ways about
We
that.
do have
They
different races in our group, technically.
Uh-huh.
They said racist things to each member of our group specifically.
Yeah.
This is... I mean, I don't think they say anything bad to Wintress.
No.
That's true.
True.
Yeah, but that's like one person out of like what, 6?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have
I
what?
mean-
You have Demon, Undead, and Abomination, and then a Goblin.
And they didn't like their fellow angel either.
Well, I mean,
True.
they were distrustful of her because they
Yeah,
were
but
traveling with you.
she's weird.
She is very weird for angels.
And I'm sure if any of the others would have been brought with us, they would have been looked down upon too.
No, the elves would have been fine. Your Nim would have been fine.
Okay. What about our mermaid?
Fine.
The kobold.
Oh, definitely the kobold. They'd be like, "What the hell is that thing?"
To be
I don't know.
fair,
With the
I
mermaid
also
with
don't really know.
the mermaid with piranha fangs, I don't know if they would have been fine with.
I mean,
It's true.
they probably would have been like, "That's different."
What are you doing on land?
Yeah, that would be the question. Why do you have legs? The answer's
Why do you
magic.
have legs? Fuck off.
She probably wouldn't have
Anyway.
said that, but yeah. But anyway, you know, it's less that they're partially racist and more that they like suspected horrible things because the beings that you are technically oftentimes do horrible things.
That's kind of racist.
I'm not saying that it's not,
It's pretty racist.
but it's like if your entire group of people were known for eating babies and you didn't eat babies, would you blame people for assuming you'd eat babies?
Yeah, because that's racist.
Jeez.
Listen, these angels they're not gonna win with us. I'm sorry. We're not
No,
gonna
they're
accept
racist
them.
and they were dicks.
We didn't even do anything, and they're like, "You're coming with us for a trial."
We've
Yeah, we
actually
were
done
sitting at a
good
bar.
things.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of this was because of Maxwell's rumors, but that's besides the
it's
point.
true.
Yeah, we have to blame Max for all of that. Actually, no, we have to blame Wintress.
Yes.
By her.
That's true. Wintress is the one who started it.
We started it.
and Max's tongue.
Yeah, well, Wintress started it, and Maxwell tried to cover it up and didn't know where to go with it, so kind of made it worse accidentally.
I didn't know Wintress said anything about this.
Yeah, Wintress is the
Yeah,
reason that
but
question
you-
started. Yeah.
Yeah, when she bought the present for Radiant, she mentioned, "Oh, I'm giving this to an angel."
Oh.
And then she,
And
like,
that
went on-
started this whole goddamn thing.
That's pretty
So
wild.
the innocent one.
Yeah. Started the chain of events which led to this entire thing.
You see, when Kazran was informed, he just believed that you hear and left it at that.
You just
And I just stayed out of the
for me.
situation completely.
Like, in Discord, like, you just, like, started talking, and then it fast-forwarded what you said, so it was, like, really fast.
he was normal to me. That was weird.
Yeah, normal to me
Weird.
too, but I know that happens because I've been told it happens to me a lot.
It does. It's very entertaining.
It's very strange.
Oh, we're still on East.
Yeah, we should switch it. We haven't had trouble yet, but I'll switch it to South.
Because
The South will rise again. No, it won't.
Oh, no. Oh God, no.
no, this is not the time to say that.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Absolutely not.
Apologies, everybody. Wrong time to say stuff.
Oof.
Foot in mouth disease.
I have that a lot.
That was rough.
Look,
You want
I'm
to
from
talk
the
about a
north.
Grand Prix as well?
I'm from the north, so I mean, like, you know, if there was another thing, I'd probably be involved, you know, north versus south stuff or something rather. So it's probably best not to encourage that. Anyway, yeah.
So you don't want to talk about a Grand Prix while you're at it?
No, it's Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
There you go.
He used to do his Magic videos. Every time he would talk about a Magic Grand Prix, he'd be like, the Grand Prix. I'm like, I'd correct
You're
him.
welcome.
And he started getting it right, but then there'd be times he'd be like, the Grand Prix, blah, 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 Grand Prix, blah, 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 Grand Prix. I'm like,
Oh, that's right, the gnomes are going south. Oh my god, the gnomes shall rise again.
Oh God.
Look, I may be in a Stellaris game where the Floof have conquered the north of the galaxy and the gnomes have conquered the south. And they're cyborg gnomes that assimilate all species into their kind. Resistance is futile.
so they're Borg gnomes?
Yeah, board
Well,
gnomes.
they don't have a hive mind per se. They're just like, you know, everyone must be cyborgs. For it is the greatest way to live.
So the Cybermen.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Cybermen gnomes.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But anyway, why don't we go around, see how people are doing after post-trials and such. The trial, which involved trials. Since we don't have Winters to start with our color wheel, we'll go to Claude.
Hi. I'm glad I'm not more dead.
Yeah,
I also now have more horrible memories in my head.
Yeah.
Yay!
you're also some form of abomination that could probably murder lots of people. Just saying.
Yay!
Yeah. I already kind of knew that.
Yeah.
That was just kind of confirmed.
Yeah. But we also have Lee playing Maxwell.
Max is doing good. He's very glad that he didn't get grand crossed by like the freaking angels. So he's doing all right.
No one cast massive amounts of holy magic on him.
Yeah.
Smite super evil. Or smite super undead. It's like, this will be painful. And then we have Fish as Kazarin.
Kazran's frustrated. He's like, this whole thing went on way too long and it proved nothing. Could we just go now?
And then we have, finally, Mads as Carrion.
Listen, I'm pretty sure Carrie, lived out an entire life inside of her trial. So she's not doing too hot. She's kind of fucked up right now.
There's a lot of
Things
poor
are-
issues for poor Carrion.
At least it wasn't a horrible, horrible life.
I'll remind you that not only were 3 of her siblings dead, but one of those siblings is her twin brother.
Yes, it still sucked. I'm not saying it didn't.
The father
But
was
at
also
least
blind.
you don't remember being abducted, mutilated, and
Listen, we're not gonna
Look
go on
into
whose
me.
trauma is worse here. Our traumas are very different.
back in my trauma.
Our traumas are very different. All of them are valid.
My trauma's worse.
Except Waitress. Hers is totally invalid.
Fuck
She
you.
hadn't.
I don't think she's had any trauma. She's just...
Exactly.
Wintress is just Wintress. She tells that story
always-
about, how, maybe, a cow once, bit her or something. And it was very traumatic. And she was angry at the cow for a while. But then she forgave it, and it was okay.
No, she burned down that town.
That was on accident?
Yeah, but I don't think that's
Okay,
trauma.
but here's the thing. It's not trauma.
That's accidental
Plus it was-
arsonist.
It's a
accidental
brag.
arsonist. I'm pretty sure Carrie was in jail at the time. It was the whole thing.
I think Winchester uses it as a brag sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, we brag about it.
So, yeah. Good times, good times. Anyway, so last time, there was a big trial, everybody got a bunch of tests on them, and the final trial effectively is sending Radiant and the crew to an isolated chapel deep within the territory of sorcery. A small chapel of Serra, far away from some of the others and far off in the mesa itself. And you're back at the bar.
Alcohol.
Immediately alcohol.
How
Finally.
things go?
I push
Well,
past
we
him and I
came
go
back
to
in
the
one
bar.
piece.
Did come back in one piece.
That's very good.
I'm more traumatized. Alcohol, please.
Yay for trauma.
Alcohol.
I'll take a pint too.
Can you drink?
I need something to forget.
What are you gonna crack your skull open and pour it in?
No, he's just gonna like put his tongue out, like leave it in there, and be like, "Come on, assimilate it."
Exactly that.
You're just gonna
Do I
tongue
have
some
taste buds with
alcohol.
that thing?
I don't know.
All right.
It's magic and in your mouth, so who knows?
All right. I
Magic
do
in
exactly
your
that. I
mouth.
just like.
Magic it in your mouth. That's going into my quote book.
So Maxwell in his magical mouth tongues some alcohol.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So yeah. Well, good to see that you're back. The others are upstairs. Do you want me to get them?
Sure.
I guess.
Meh.
Uh,
More alcohol.
Hang will hang out with Winterest, and they'll share awesome stories of something or other, and bond over being like innocent souls. The tool will probably come up and hug you, Maxwell, and be like, "It's all right." And Radiant will be like, also like, "What's the strongest thing you have?"
Hmm.
5 of
Wait,
those.
is Lotula there?
Yes.
I
She's
give
giving you
her.
a
I give her a hug.
Yeah.
And I say, I almost died.
Oh no. Are you okay?
Thankfully, yes. There was some sort of like trial to see if they could help me regain my humanity, but
They did try to
unfortunately,
make you live.
unsuccessful. They did
So
try
you
to help me
almost
live.
lived too.
Yeah. But unfortunately, that was unsuccessful.
Well, maybe you'll be lucky one of these days.
Maybe
Yeah.
one day you'll get some meat on your bones.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway.
Anyway. All right. You can drink there for a while. What's your plans? How long do you want to drink
Continue
here?
drinking.
Are you just gonna stay the night and then maybe like think about heading off to the chapel tomorrow morning? Or do
I
you
think probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wait, we have to go back to the chapel?
there's
We have to go
The
to
other
different
chapel.
Oh.
That's the continuation of our trials or some shit.
yeah.
It's the deal.
It's like the final test, kind of thing.
The final test.
At least
Where
some-
we'll get married, Max.
God.
Finally.
I look at Claude in confusion. I don't suppose you have a sexy form, do you?
I turn back into my female elf.
Do I have like a visual aid for this? or-
No, she's fine. She's fine.
Well, give me a number. Like, is she a
The
10 or
redheaded
like...
elf.
like-
Well, she has my charisma, which I have a 16 charisma.
Like if we listen to
Probably like a 7.
Tolkien or any popular fantasy trope information, elves are always to a degree hot. They're never not. They're only just okay at most.
I kind of cock my head. I'm like, and I just kind of think to myself, and then I go back to normal and I ignore.
Lotula is sitting right there.
And I look back at Lotula. I say nothing.
You're not much.
That's what I've been hearing a lot.
Who says that?
Barkeep.
Okay, I was wondering. I'm like, new voice.
I'm sure we're much more entertaining than the rest of the customers.
Eh.
You're really just here for the paycheck, aren't you?
I own the
Can't blame
place.
No.
Oh. My apologies.
Drinks are good.
But yes they are.
You wouldn't know.
'Cause I just stick my tongue into the thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Drinks are good.
Real weird. He goes back to work. You can enjoy drinks for the evening. I guess, can everybody give me some con saves? Who's drinking lots?
I get advantage.
Does this also count for me?
Not you.
Okay, I figured. I don't have a liver with which to get sclerosis.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Claude makes it very well. As usual.
Fine.
Carrion's drunk, though.
Carrion's a little rough.
Y'all,
Yeah.
Carrie's just not having a fun time, so now drunk. Oh god, the hangover's gonna be awful.
Mm-hmm. She's just sitting there, like, you know, like, probably, like, I'm not sure what kind of drunk you want to be. I'm going to say, like, though at this point in time, you're probably, like, slightly sobbing into your drink as you're drinking it kind of thing, you know?
Probably.
You know,
just like silent tears.
Yeah.
They're just melting on the bar when the drink is done.
It's like, I'm not supposed to do that.
Was that Radiant on the last one?
No, that's just like some random guy that's like at the bar with you people, like who's just like
Oh.
looking, like, and pointing this out. Did anybody else see that? No. I'm gonna go
No,
take
I
my
meant the
drinks to a
last
table.
con save. I meant the con save you roll.
The last
Oh,
con
that
save
was
is
Radiant.
Radiant.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah.
She's
I'm the
drinking
only one drunk.
heavily and fine.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Doesn't it suck, Radiant?
Yeah. Anyway, Carrie will of course wake up to an awful hangover, and everybody else would just be a little like messed up in the morning. Not too bad. And Max, you're not sure if anything occurred because you just had your tongue in a drink for a while. If it had any effects, you did not get enough.
Great.
Oh. Well, last night happened, and I remember most of it, which is surprising. I drank a lot.
I remember everything.
Yep.
What's memory?
How are you feeling, Carrie?
Talk quieter. Or don't talk at all, that'd be preferable.
Let's just get on our move to a strange chapel, and I don't know where it is.
I look towards Radiant. Do you know where it is?
I have a general idea of how to find it.
Well, I guess you're the leader.
We should probably get going now. It's about a half a day's journey deep into the mesa.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Tally ho.
So Radiant's going to lead the full party now, as everybody else is with you at this point in time, deep into Sorcery Mesa and towards the chapel itself. You'll notice even more that the land here is... There's just something about it that seems peaceful. And even you being here, you feel a little bit at peace. Like, there are small butterflies and insects buzzing about, birds. It's mostly just plains and open fields with occasional, like, trees here and there. The grass itself is not that tall either. It tends to, like, come up to, like, at most, around, like, ankle deep. So it's not really high grass either. there seems to be a number of types of grazing animals that just appear in herds here, beyond the occasional pegasi and unicorns that seem to take up this place, too. It's just peaceful.
Too bad we don't have one of those to ride.
I mean, if you can try to befriend them.
I'm gonna recommend we don't. It does not sound like a good idea. You can try if you want. I'm personally not.
A unicorn, you say?
Sure.
I kind of like, and like do that kind of motion where I like clap and like, you know, beckon my hand toward the unicorn.
It looks towards you, and then turns its head and goes off.
I look a little sad and
He just gave
dejected.
me the middle hoof.
I mean, not that rude, but, you know.
I say,
Very
wait,
sneaky.
come back, you're beautiful.
It's like, ugh, you're undead. Go away.
You'll see it kind of frolic and dance in the winds and breezes that move across the mesa here.
So pretentious.
How high above it is it for me?
Well, that's a Pegasus, or it was a unicorn,
That
not
was
a Pegasus.
unicorn, yeah. Pegasi, I'll just be in the air, and maybe you don't see them. Probably. At least not coming down to visit you.
Oh
Or
no,
anybody.
flying horse butts.
I tried.
That's right.
It was a good try.
Yeah,
Strike me as a fairly pretentious animal, so.
I mean, I think that they just don't care for us because they don't hang around people too much. They only visit them to see what's up. They probably just wanted to see who we were. It's said that unicorns are as smart as people.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anyway,
That's fair.
so, you'll continue for a few hours across the area, going through a number of, like, rolling hills, until there is a small bank of mountains, which kind of break through the area here, as if, like, there's, like, a smaller, almost, like, range of mountains on top of the mesa. You'll be led by Radiant on a small path that kind of winds in between two of them. Kind of a little up and in between two, like a small valley in between two of them. And it leads you down into an area where it's really interesting. It looks as though, like, the mountains themselves almost curve, rather than being, like, straight up. They have this kind of, like, almost curve to them, and kind of curve over the area, kind of creating almost a sheltered area that creates this kind of shadowy area where you can see down in the center of it all is a cathedral on top of a small hill. You can see the shadows kind of like moving over like a large area of the area and kind of dancing in the sunlight as it passes by in the clouds. The grassland down here is actually mired by both like little patches of like barren moor almost, and the grassland itself. You can see a point where there seems to be a very large natural spring bubbling up to create this kind of outlet of like creeks and moors over part of this area here, kind of like interspersed amongst the fields.
Is it a hot spring?
I don't know, it's just cool water when you
Okay, so no, it's not a hot spring.
Yeah, it's cool water. Can't give you a hot spring.
Is it a hot spring? No, I don't know. It's cool water. That cool hot spring water.
yeah, it's cool water when you encounter it, when you move down into the area itself. All right. That's where we were heading for today.
Lovely.
Very few people travel this far off to the far corners. I don't think many pilgrims head here.
I'm gonna fill my water skin though with some of the cool spring water.
It's because the water itself, it's like the entire area here is filled by a spring. You'd think like that the spring, because you can see it kind of like bubbling out, like probably like a 10-20 foot like kind of like almost well that kind of comes up. It's almost like it's a constant geyser, even though it doesn't look like it's like splurting out like massive amounts. You know, it's like got this kind of like underground splurt that kind of comes up at a constant pace and kind of fills it with the water. But there are small things and bugs and all kinds of animals that seem to live and make into this lake. It's this strange area that seems unusual because it makes you feel like, Carrie, it's incredibly weird for you. You have never seen a peaceful, what could almost be called marshland. And that's kind of what you're encountering here.
I just picture the Carrie in the movie Little Nicky.
Mm-hmm.
Release the good. Like fluffy bunnies around the demon.
Yeah. Don't eat don't eat the bunnies.
No, pet the bunnies.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, the water itself seems relatively clear and fresh. Again, like, you can notice there are things in it here and there. It's not without life. This entire area is not without life. It just has this kind of relatively peacefulness to it that you don't see many more places else.
How's the water taste?
It tastes fine, actually.
Okay. Sweet. You might want to fill up your canteens if you need it.
I will.
Mm-hmm. Tastes fine. And you can fill it up just fine. So,
Everything's fine.
so far. For now.
Probably gonna get like freaking stomach bacteria later.
I mean,
Roll
I'm
for
not,
dysentery.
Ugh.
I mean, I'm not saying that it might not have some dysentery. I'm just saying you don't know yet.
It's probably fine. We're not on the Oregon Trail. It's not that much of an issue.
Oh no, you broke a leg randomly.
So you can definitely see
Ah,
like where it mixes between like the plains and the marsh. It comes creates like this kind of scrubland around the area that seems to surround the chapel itself. This place is interesting because it's similar to me.
It's half vampire?
No.
It's a mix of the light and the dark.
This place is strangely on the edge of it, but from what I've heard tales of, it has just as strong a Serra's blessing as anywhere else. But the well seems to come from somewhere deep inside Dominaria itself. A well of mana that seems to be a little different than what you find normally here. Arona. Yeah. Though again, wherever you visit here in the continent has differences. There are forests and mountains and plains. Here is just a small, unique side area of a place that has blessings of a goddess. I guess let's head in.
Is there anything we should know before we go in?
I've never been here.
Huh.
I've never seen to make a pilgrimage to anywhere else. And the rumors of this place are ones that might be more helpful for us to know about rather than dangerous. You see, Brother Angus was the one that created the Cathedral of Serra, the one we visited here in the plains of Serra. But the Cathedral of Serra was not the only thing that he built. At least not his order. Once he finished his part of the Song of Awe, the Cantos Above 1,000, his lament, two of his followers decided to wander and explore the mesa to see what Serra saw in this place, at least as the story goes. One of them discovered here and saw it as a place that its best representation of man, human, mortal kind. How mortals both have light and dark in their souls and must make decisions whether they will be good or bad. And so built a second cathedral here. So I know that they rarely have large contact with the church as it is now. Just because, well, they become more isolated since the fall of Serra's realm, and the cathedral, you can see that there was the floating islands and such above the cathedral when we visited it. Those are leftovers from Serra's realm, when the remainder of the angels fled from there to here. When that happened, the isolation truly began. They were cut off from... The teachings became more indoctrinated to what the main church was. And the main church changed more what it is now. Whether for good or bad, I can't say on that one.
Well, guess we're just going to have to find out, honestly.
Well, if all else fails, the words of Cantos 1008 may apply here into its founding. Let go of all that harms you, cast your burdens into darkness, and build for the faithful a house of light. Light within the darkness was built here, with no shades.
So that means we're probably not about to be, like, ambushed or anything? Like, there's not going to be attack in the cathedral, hopefully?
I don't think there are many angels that come here. And if there are, they're few and far between. Probably more exceptions like myself.
Alright, that's pretty good. I'm settled. I'm ready.
You'll head for the cathedral and find that as I said, it's up on a kind of hill. Once you get close to it, you'll see that there is a, like at the bottom of the hill, there seems to be a small kind of graveyard area. It has a number of unmarked stones laid down there. You don't see no sign of any kind of names or anything on the grave markers, but you can see it's kind of cut off by a small kind of stone fence around the area. And a path kind of leads up from that up to the cathedral proper. There's only about a dozen of these stone markers in there.
Well, let's tiptoe through the gravestones.
Well, you can go buy them. You don't actually have to worry about it.
Okay.
Good, because sauntering through a graveyard probably isn't the best idea.
Yeah. Well, actually, maybe it's not the worst thing.
You might be able to dig up a friend.
Oh boy.
I don't know, you might be one of the only good, kind skeletons.
That's fair.
The
Maybe I'll
rest are
find Yorick
stupid
lying
and scary.
around.
Maybe they're just neutral.
Alas, poor Yorick. I know him, Horatio.
I kind of tapped out, so we went from a marsh to a graveyard?
The graveyard's in the marsh.
It's an area
okay.
where there's this like natural spring that looks kind of like it's like a kind of like a mild geyser almost. So it kind of like does this like little jet about 20 feet up, but then it spreads in like these natural like grooves in the area into like little like kind of more of like little creeks and ponds and stuff. And so there's kind of like these kind of like waterways where it's kind of a little marshy and some scrublands in between it that are a little less marshy, and then these kind of like little plains areas that still exist. And it kind of networks out from this kind of central site that you can kind of see near the cathedral. And then when you approach the cathedral, where it was a little drier, you had the little graveyard and a trail leading up to from there to the cathedral proper. The doors are closed to it. I guess I'll knock.
Better you than any of us.
You are technically supposed to be leading us here.
She'll knock on the door, and after a while, a man will kind of open the door. Hello. What can I do for you?
We were sent here.
I believe it's part of some sort of pilgrimage trial.
You're not going to, you're not gonna try to harm us like the angels did, are you?
What?
Well, they didn't try to harm us, to be fair. They just arrested us. Oh, we're
Fair.
not criminals. I should say that. We're not criminals.
Yeah, we were simply drinking at a bar. What's your name, kind sir?
I'm Brother Boyd.
I opt to shake his hand.
Perhaps I should
name is-
let you in before there is any formalities of greetings. Please, please, come in.
That would be a good idea. I step in along with, I assume, everyone else.
No, we're all waiting outside while you go and get yourself done.
Yeah, I follow him.
Yeah, no, obviously we follow.
Yeah.
Why were you sent here? Please explain once again. Our cathedral is a small one, and we do not get many travelers from farther out, such as yourself.
Well, hi, I'm a demon. We got an abomination, we got a skeleton, we've got a goblin,
Hi.
and we got a weird angel.
Hello.
who's a lot of things. And we were, the angels kind of arrested us for, being who we are. And then we were told afterwards that our trial hinges on something to do here.
They weren't very specific.
No, they were not.
We're still figuring things out.
We're getting pretty good at figuring things out, though.
Yeah.
We're trying.
I can see why they sent you, though. Ours is a small order, a very different order than many others. There are many powerful orders within the church. The Order of the Dawn, the Order of the Ancestors, the Order of Compassion, even the Order of the Chroma. We are the Order of the Sun. It was our order, at least our ancestors, that are said to have originally written down the Song of All for all mortals. Once the angels and Serra herself brought it to us, It was us who wrote it and learned the verses and spread it. It was through our mentor, Brother Angus's tears at the death of Serra in her mortal form that led us to this. As you can see inside, there's a series of 3 steps, like you're kind of in like a small opening cathedral area. And in here there are 3, like maybe 15-foot tall statues. One of them is of a very beautiful woman. Another one is of a kind of older bald man. And another one seems to be of an angel.
No goblins, alright.
Wait a second.
3 pillars of our order. The words of Serra herself, of Brother Angus, and what he wrote, the last wisdoms of Serra in her dying breaths as a mortal. And of course, of the great Archangel, Mavil. The children of Mavil still protect our chapel to this day. Mavil may have been like you, young angel. He saw beauty in the darkness, that there was a balance between light and dark that could cause ultimate beauty. He believed our cathedral here, where we brought light to a place of darkness, we brought forth Serra's blessing in its greatest form, existed, and he found the balance himself. His angelic order is few in numbers, but you would be welcome to meet them here. Tristiana is the current head of it. Mavil unfortunately passed away during the Great Invasion, defending this land from the hordes which came upon it, using the power of Serra's blessing to keep this place pure. All of you seem to be lost children. That's probably another reason that you were sent here. This is a place of the lost, at the edge of the world, where very few visit.
I guess lost is definitely something that could be described for us. We're a somewhat disparate group, to put it mildly. But I still don't entirely see what we're supposed to do here.
We're a bit we prefer the literal interpretation of things rather than the metaphorical, if you catch my drift, good sir.
I'm going to go consult with this Tristan. Perhaps a lot of you, if you want, can see about getting rooms and maybe speaking to some of the brothers.
Sure.
I will assign Brother Caleb to be your overseer, to show you in the ways of our cathedral, and to see if he can help you find peace here.
Ooh, finding peace is going to take a while.
You got that right, guys.
Yeah.
Hard to find something you never had.
Very true. Very true.
After a while, you'll be a young man. He's interesting because you notice that he has pointy ears, but they're not as pointy as, let's say, Nim's.
He's a half-elf.
No, it's Spock.
You wouldn't know that because, like, half-elves are incredibly rare in Dominaria. They aren't an easy...
Okay, he's Spock.
No. Anyway, hello. I'm Brother Caleb. Nice to meet you. Come this way. I'll show you to some rooms. We have some extra places. There's only a few dozen of us here. So we have plenty of room, usually. In our heyday, this place was once much greater. But as our isolation has prevented many from traveling here and finding their way, the Order has shrunk over the years. Hope we can be of service to your travels here.
Well, yes. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm possible. Still don't know what we're doing here. They've mentioned like a lot of things, no specifics.
You know why you
shrug.
were originally sent this direction?
Some kind of trial?
What was happening?
Well,
we were
I'm a
drinking.
demon.
What she meant to say is person of special interest.
No,
Brother.
I'm a demon.
You're the
We
horn.
got an abomination. We got a skeleton. We got a goblin.
Hi.
You stop referring to me
Merchant,
as the
thank you very
abomination.
much.
Merchant skeleton. Cool abomination.
That's not
You have an interesting way of describing each of yourselves.
Look, we were drinking at the bar, some rumors got out of hand, angels came and arrested us, decided we were probably fine, but we were sent here to figure out if that was the case.
Decided you were fine.
I'm fine.
You
As far as they
Winters
know.
are fine. The rest of us
Winters
are
is very
up in the air.
fine.
I'm alright.
As far as the angels know, I'm fine.
Listen, we're not going to talk about your past
Or future.
or future. There's also that one.
Or present.
That's
Well,
fair.
we haven't blown anything up in.
It's been a while. Well, it's been a while for
few
you.
weeks.
It's been a while for you. I did some during excavation while at the university in the archaeology. There might have been a few explosions here and there.
That's why I said a few
no.
weeks.
Controlled explosions. Controlled.
Perhaps we should just drop your things off and take you to a little bit more of a peaceful area, where we can get you some food and have you tell your tales.
Thank you.
Maybe a listening ear will help you in understanding what's going on. He's going to lead you to, like, it looks to be like a common room of some kind that hasn't been used in a while. It's still well maintained, but it seems to be like probably a place that maybe a group of acolytes would stay in. So there's like beds and chests to each of them. Again, it's like it is a common room and individuals.
Was it just Radiant and us that came?
Lutula and Wintress and Hang are all here too. Your Kobold didn't come because he was like, "I'll wait for you here."
What about Nim?
Nim came along.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
He
So
thought
everyone
it'd be an
but the
interesting place to
Kobold
see.
came.
Yeah, he thought it'd be an interesting place to see. The Kobold's probably trying to peddle his wares in town.
Yeah. Frankly, I'm surprised he stuck around as long as he has.
Yeah.
Figured he would have left by
Kazan
now.
wants to peddle his wares.
Look,
It's true.
the entire
Oh.
idea of going into a caravan with you was it, and I might have to roll to see if a caravan is leaving in the meantime that he'll join.
Yeah. If it happens, it happens.
But he won't get group discount.
Yeah, maybe he can wheedle his way into another group and get the discount.
We'll see.
So, Brother Kalen will then lead you into what looks to be like a common dinner area. There's a lot of tables. No one seems to be having any kind of food right now. You just passed the afternoon meal. We do have some leftovers I can get together for you, if you want something.
I'm personally fine, but thank you.
I don't eat, but thank you.
I'll eat. Fuck it.
Alright.
It's
Don't
probably
do that if you're gonna
inappropriate to
eat
ask It's probably inappropriate to ask if you have alcohol, isn't it?
Well, we always have some ale. on
Ale
site.
is good.
Just because drinking can lead to excess doesn't mean proper moderation balances one's soul. A little bit of libation is not a bad thing, as long as you don't overdo it. At least that's what our order teaches.
You know, you're the most reasonable priest I've ever met in my life.
Well, again, you probably won't get as open-ended. As he's like actually getting you an ale and stuff together from like a nearby kitten. You'll probably not get any group as open-ended within the church as us. Some of the other smaller orders, maybe. The main order is usually a little bit more stricter. Like, I believe the Order of the Dawn, well, their entire idea is protecting Benalia. They're very strict that way. They're a order within our church that's all about protecting the, well, state, which supports our church, mostly.
I think those are the ones who arrested us.
They're a branch of it, if you're talking about those from the Cathedral of Serra.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
The Order of the Ancestors is from far-off continent of Otaria. And the
Okay.
Order of Acroma also come from there.
I think we stopped there. Is that where the Minotaurs were? Atari?
No, Otaria is not a land you visited.
Oh.
You may have been there at least into a port, because I think I was saying that your ship came from Otaria, the one that you started on. It had been traveling from Otaria. So all of you probably visited at least one of the port towns there. I can't remember which one I told you guys off the top of my head. But, yes.
I'm not sure.
It's another continent that's far off to the east of where you are. Technically, probably quicker to go west at this point in time for how far you've gone around the world. You've gone about halfway around the world at this point in time over the past, 3 or 4 months.
Not
Well-
in 80 days.
So I was going to say, so much for going around the entire world in 80 days.
No, but you're making pretty decent timing.
Oh, just you wait until I make an airship. Oh,
Oh,
man.
God.
Then we can reenact whatever movie you want.
Men in Black.
Yeah, we could do that. I think it worked.
On an
Are there
airship.
aliens? Here's the big question. Are there aliens in this world?
Well, technically we're descendants of a plane that was outside of this one, so yeah, we're the aliens.
Aliens in the
Not-
sense of extra-dimensional rather than, actual other planets.
Still beyond this Earth.
I mean, I make myself look like an alien.
Yes.
You
Please
could.
don't.
You could very well do that.
Please don't.
I'll turn purple and grow antennae.
See, our order is all about understanding the depths of the Song of All. The Song of All, which was a teachings originally taught to the angels, a song taught to the angels by Serra herself. Her words, her teachings brought to the song form, if you will. And most of the cantos are known by the angels themselves. We are unique that we specialize in following the Brother Angus's lament, the final 20 cantos. That is not to say that there aren't angels out there nowadays that know them, but the unfortunate thing is that since they were added after Serra had left her realm, after her mortal form that she had been given to lead the angels, to lead people, to be amongst the people, was destroyed, was slain, that they were the last words given, her dying breaths. The words that she shared with Brother Angus in the time it took for her to pass away. We know that it was a slow and unfortunately painful death. The brother had been here on a pilgrimage, if you would, to an angelic place. Our founder. He wasn't expecting to run into a goddess incarnate to save her life, only for the wounds that she inflicted to eventually claim her. We were, at the time, He was too far from help. Couldn't move her. It's a sadness that our order maintains. Another reason why we stay isolated. We believe that it was us mortals that failed to save Serra. And we, of the Order of the Song, believe it is our isolation, our self-exile, that allows us to understand and ruse over the tasks that we had, the teachings that she had, and perhaps to find what it all actually means. If everything she said was meant to be taken cut and dry, or if the lessons she was trying to teach us had more meaning to them, what her aims were by teaching us these lessons. And so we've spent hundreds of years here doing so. But enough about us. Why don't you tell me about your stories? What brought you to this land that perhaps you might have gotten on the ire of angels? But before you do that, we'll take our break. And then tell your show. Yeah, so if you need to use the bathroom, get a drink, anything like that, get a snack, go ahead and do it, and we'll be back in a little bit. Gave Lee the excuse to run off because he needed to use the break quickly. So we'll be back shortly, and then everybody will share their stories with the brother and see what he has to say about why they might be here. So see you in a bit, folks. Alright, we're back. So, having learned a little bit about the order here from Brother Kalen, he asks you, each of you, like, what's going on? Why are you here? Of course, some of your NPCs will answer. Wintress will give her normal Wintress answer, which is probably the most silly and innocent thing. Hang will probably be similar. Latula is adventuring for her own religious beliefs. You knew that. To kind of see where her goddess appears in the world and in other people's cultures. And coming along with you is convenient for them. And of course, Nim will be like, I just enjoy the journey. When there's places to explore, people to visit, and things to do, it's always an excuse to travel.
Well, I can start with my story if you want.
Sure.
How far back do you want me to go?
Only enough to explain why you might be here and why you'd be involved in a trial at Church of Serra.
All right. I met these folks on the ship where I was working as the shipwright. That's my normal occupation when I'm not doing this. I build and repair ships. While on the ship, we were attacked a couple times. And afterwards, we stopped at a port, and I did some repairs on the ship, of course, but then I also hung around with this group for a little while. We picked someone up at the port, being Nim.
Hello!
At the next port, Nim offered to hire us on as bodyguards / entertainment.
They're a strange lot, aren't they? Wonderful.
So I decided to journey with them, and then eventually we wound up here, where some rumors started, but that's not my story to tell. Those rumors apparently attracted the angels, and we were in a bar, just relaxing and having some drinks and not bothering anyone, when a bunch of angels came bursting through the door, and they arrested us and brought us to the church, and I was put on trial because I'm a goblin. And to them that means that I'm a minion, of course, and I have no will of my own.
Unfortunately, your kind has many dark stories to it. It seems as though you've risen above them, though, and you wish not to be judged by your own standards of your race. Is that it?
No. I'm my own person, and I intend to be even more than just that.
See? Then I was right. You don't intend to be judged by the standards of the goblin race. Most goblins accept their lots in life and accept that most people, well, don't look very fondly at them, or see them as almost second class. In some places in the world, Shiv, Bogard, you can find your place sometimes. Find even great stature. I've heard great things about the goblins of Shiv and how they found great equality around that.
True. But I'm not most goblins.
And you see that comes
I'm here with them. But
I think that's something that maybe that's your reason for being here, is seeing that your race has problems intrinsic to them. Rumors, stories, preconceived notions. And as much as you are connected to them or not, doesn't matter. You want to be seen for being you. For maybe the great works that you want to do. And accepting that perhaps you have limitations as being a member of society that is oftentimes looked down upon because of many of the negative things your people have done over the eons. The wars they've started, the violence, the oftentimes comical nature that people tell stories of them. Dangerous but comical.
I'm not going to be defined by the past that I didn't participate in.
So perhaps that's why, again, you're here. Because you have to understand that a little bit more. When you said, at first, that it wasn't the preconceived notions, that it was you, you were denying that those notions existed. You've got to accept that they're there.
I know they exist. I've faced them. I've served on crews that weren't only Goblin Viashino. I know. But I'm not them. And I refuse to allow myself to be defined by people other than myself. I am my own individual. And that's how that is.
I'm never saying not to respect the fact that you're your own individual. Every person out there is. Every man, woman, and child who can speak a language and have people understand them is an individual. It's just that societies are grouped together, oftentimes. And you're a member of society as much as you'd like to deny it. And perhaps finding your place in society, maybe finding a way to prove yourself, is what your goal is. That you're better than your people. That your people can be better. And I'd like to see that.
Maybe. But my story's not done being written. So who's to say? Just have to wait and see what happens.
What other stories do you have? Who wants to speak next?
Let's see. When would you like to know when my story begins?
Well, where do you feel it's appropriate? You are a being that is much more unique than many of the others here. I'm sure you felt slightly more at peace here than you have in many other lands.
That is fair.
There's
I guess I'll begin.
The balance of light and dark here affects you too. The very magic which animates your bones.
I guess I'll begin at my my re-origin or rebirth, if you will. So I awoke in a strange lab with my newfound form, and I was really nervous. And I looked around in like wild excitement, and I eventually found my good friend Claude as we eventually made our escape through this terrifying tower. And it was then that I returned to the tomb of my ancestors to don my current gear, along with my rapier, Erg. I like to never show that off. And I've traveled the lands, searching far and wide for the power that's inside to meet up with, to meet new friends and hopefully regain my humanity alongside Claude.
words you speak, and I think I understand why they sent you here for a reason. Your reason's very different than Castle's. Maxwell, as much as you try to regain your humanity, even when you do, you're never going to be the same person. I think what you have to begin to accept is you have to forget some of that past, the lives you've lived. You're burdened by it. Your outfit, your mask, your rapier, they're vestiges of a time period in your past. You haven't looked beyond them. Granted, things like the mask and the sword can be useful. Sometimes when you travel across the world, you need to get to a fight. And hiding who you are, well, it's less because you want to hide who you are, and more because you know the fear out there. The Walking Dead are a blight in many places because of dark necromancers and twisted magic. But even in the darkest manner, things aren't completely lost. Each element, each mana of our world is its own thing, and individuals that are expressed and have powers expressed in those magics are individuals also. They can be good or bad. There are those within Benalia that, though are showered with the light of white mana, aren't necessarily good. An angel can be corrupted. The unfortunate stories of the corruptions of Phyrexia exist, and what they can do to beings, good or bad. It is the greatest example of corruption. Granted, they mastered black magic and used it for such corruption, but there are individuals within that. The catfolk of Herbalwork, though very few remain, they too had black mana within their veins, but they sought peace within Herbalwork and to coexist with the things there. So perhaps that's what you are, seeking peace and coexistence. There is something we can do for you here.
To tell?
I think I might be able to convince the sister, our Grand Overseer, Sister Maze, to let you have something we have here.
Will color me interested.
You see, long ago, we fell into possession of a certain artifact, an item of magical power that has unique ability. It allows someone to look like another person.
Oh, this could go well with my art of mimicry, as I use my tongue to speak exactly like they do, and that's in.
I thought it more practical purpose for you. What if you could look like yourself?
You mean before I died?
Yes.
I would be interested in that.
That's the kind of thing I think you should begin to see again. You cannot forget who you were, if that's what you seek to become again. You've stepped away from it a little bit because you probably have conveniences in this form. I'm sure things like not needing to eat or breathe, drink, sleep, seem like conveniences. And they might be, to any being, but you don't have to worry about that. You've had how long? Hundreds of years of this experience? Wandering the world, trying to find a meaning? Maybe trying to find a hint of life again. The exact end of your quest and a way to do it. I can't help you in that. I'm not sure any known magic can. There might be some very powerful magics which could. But what they are, I've certainly never heard of them. But I think the purpose of here is maybe to ask us to help you regain a spark of your humanity. If you feel human, maybe you can keep a little bit more of that and not worry about losing it.
I would certainly be into this idea. Any semblance of seeing who I once was would be very much a good thing in my eyes. Or lack of eyes, rather.
How about one of you two?
Well, I guess it's only fitting I go next, since my story is attached to his. I am a strange creation, and I have too many other souls that make me up. I don't know if I truly have one of my own, or if I'm just an amalgamation of all the ones that were thrown into me. I'm going to show my true self. This is my natural form. This is what I actually am. And then I'll go into my human form. The church recently awoke some memories of one of the souls that is in me. A good man who was taken and injured and then thrown into the ooze that was originally me. I never really had... I've had whispers, I've had inklings of the previous forms that are in me, but never something that vivid until then. For a long time, all I seeked was a true death. But I've come to appreciate what life I have, and I'm trying to seek peace with myself.
You're a strange case, Claude, even amongst these group, I have to say. Your story is one that is both horrifying and sad, that someone would do such horrible things to create you, but sad that a tortured creature such as yourself was created. I think that the problem you have to first accept is you're you. You forget. When your creation was done, you were given a mind. I don't think it's a mind of all those within you. I think it's your own mind. And you have to respect that. Maybe you can hear those other people, because they are in you still. Forcefully thrown into what would become you by someone else. You didn't choose to be created on the depths of others, but you were. Maxwell, your friend, he was created using his own death. Dark magic like that can do a lot of terrible things. You were created on others' deaths. You must understand. You're yourself. You're the individual no matter what. And maybe what you have to start doing is understanding those within you. Rather than denying them, start to communicate with them. Start to understand them, who they are, what they are. Know their stories, all of them. Because Claude is not just you. In a way, it's all of you in there. And maybe once the you, the surface, can be at peace with all of the souls within your body, you can find true peace. You can find balance. There's always been stories, wicked stories, that of individuals who were born with more than one soul. I heard tales of them in some writings of clergies and doctors. You're like that. Those people, well, their stories are always mixed. I don't know if all of them ended good, or all of them ended bad, or if there's just nothing that you can quite find in between. But maybe you should try to find something, a balance. You can either choose to find harmony, or find unity. And I think if you can find either of those, whatever peace of mind you are seeking can be found, regardless of what you are. And maybe if you do find some peace, you won't have to fear your own creation, or why they made you.
That's what I've been seeking to do as of late with my meditations.
I could probably arrange for some special incenses for you. They might not be much, but a little bit of relaxing incenses can help.
I'd appreciate that.
Now there's one last one of you.
God, you sound like a therapist. I don't know if therapists exist in this world,
don't!
but now they do.
Guess what? Priests are therapists in this world. Closest thing to it.
Well, pause to take a sip of the ale. Had a fight with my father, left home, burned down a village at one point, met up with these crazy fucks. That was before I looked more demony. Believe it or not, used to look less demony. Took some drugs, had some really bad visions, turned into this, got arrested by angels, and now I'm here.
Where does your blood come from? The demon blood, not the mortal blood.
Well, from my mother's side,
Alright. Your case is unique. Dark spawn of demons and mortals are rare. Almost as rare than even my kind. But it doesn't mean that you aren't born. It's just that most demons are physically incompatible with mortals.
Tell that to my mother. She had 6 kids.
She might have had unique abilities, or a form very similar to our own. These things can be an advantage in your birth, at least, but leaves the fact that you were born. Did your mother love you?
I sure fucking hope so.
Whatever happened to her?
She died. Quite a few years ago now. I think I was 6.
Was it persecution or something else?
Oh, you're actually gonna make me fucking talk about it, aren't you? I need more alcohol. So, my grandpa wasn't a nice dude, and Well, Mom may have stayed behind to make sure he didn't follow us.
Powerful demons like to know that their lineage is secure, if they have one. Especially if it's one that's born on a mortal plane like this. There have been known to be quite a few demons that have come into existence on our world over the history. And your grandfather and his lineage are just another line that have existed here on Dominaria, in some place or another. Now, it sounds like, from the way you've expressed it, your mother was less twisted and corrupted than many of them. The anger that naturally seems to exist and the hatred for mortals that seems to exist within demons. Perhaps because she may have been born here, in this plane. Unlike many of them, which come from the abyss, the realm of demons. That may be why love. It's a simple fact that something like that can exist, even between the most violent and hateful of people. Though love never bore fruit of it. There's an old story set in one of our small towns in the corners of Dominaria territory of a young goblin who fell in love with a human woman. They found love together. The goblin itself was similar to your friend Chasm, smarter than many of his kin. At least, was more reasonable than as many are oftentimes associated with it. It's the same thing that, you're, as a spawn of demons, are oftentimes looked down upon when seen. Because people assume many things about your group. But individuals can prove it differently. That's what the story teaches us. That we're each our own, and we each have our own story to tell. And we have to ignore what others think. And I think what's happened with you is you've by chance awakened some of that power within you, the power of your blood. You are half demon and half mortal. The fact is, you may be immortal. We don't know. Your kind is unusual. Your kind is not seen on this realm very much, if ever. I think I've only heard once of a tale of another similar to yourself, and the story does not end well. But the individual stayed with their demonic heritage, served their demonic ancestors. You, on the other hand, have stepped to the mortal side. So though your form may be monstrous, your heart is mortal. Your heart is as human as many of the folks here. I'd say it's probably just as much as human as mine is.
Well, let's not rip it out to find out, because I kind of need that thing.
I think what you have to do, Catherine, is you have to step back from it all. Bad things have happened. You are related to bad things. But
you have no fucking idea.
But look at who's with you. Look at the people with you. Look at your new family. How long have you traveled with these folks?
I wouldn't call them family, except for maybe Kaz.
I'm gonna give you a big hug.
Oh, thankfully you're not still the silver weird goop, because that would be really fucking...
Carrion doesn't quite like us.
Around you.
Understandably so for myself, but can't say the same for the others.
You almost let me get kidnapped, and I'm never letting you live it down.
And you always neglect to mention the part where we rescue you after you intentionally get kidnapped.
I did not intentionally get kidnapped. You intentionally let me get kidnapped.
I did not do any such thing.
Okay, now I'll admit,
pick me up.
I was late coming into that. It
You were
did not
buying
seem...
drugs.
It's because I was buying drugs. It did not seem like Carrie was willfully getting kidnapped.
You got
Because you didn't
kidnapped
go with the
because
plan.
of drugs.
There was... The drugs were fine.
Listen, it wasn't the drugs' fault. It was the fault of the people who were next to the people selling the drugs.
So it's almost like I'm unblameable then with that
Oh
explanation.
no, you're completely blamable.
I think the thing is with this is you're holding him to account for actions that might have been beyond him.
Oh sure, but I don't really care.
But maybe you should. Because as much as you're being angry at him, maybe rather than him that you're really angry at, it's yourself for all the bad decisions you think you've made.
No, listen, you're misunderstanding this completely. I have stopped being angry a long time ago. I just don't want him to forget it.
It's more of a joke now.
You can't reason with her, brother. Unfortunately,
I'm completely
try
over it.
as I might, I've given up on such a task.
I think she's quite reasonable. She just has a little demon in her.
Very well put.
It's both Carrie and Madge laughing, by the way.
I think no matter what you do, man, no matter what you do, Carrion, you'll never quite get... I was going to say Mads there for a second. Because you said Mads and Carrion.
No matter what you do,
I'm still
Mads.
gonna be a fucking demon.
No matter what you do, Carrion, you're not going to get away with from who you are. And I think it has an influence on you constantly. I think it's that your soul is not pure. It doesn't need to be. There are plenty of mortals out there who aren't the best of people. They do okay. Maybe they're not horrible people, which I don't think you are. But are they good? No. They're just people. And I think that's what you are. You're just a person with a little bit of a sadistic side. Deep in there.
Not very deep.
And some issues because you lost a lot in your life because of who you are. Don't think of it as loss. Think of it as an origin. You wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of these folks. Now, yes, there may have been a kidnapping incident, but guess what? You didn't get kidnapped. You're alive now. And apparently some of these drugs you got have, you know, I don't know, helped you to find your inner demon.
These were different drugs.
It was there were 2 different drug deals. Well, there's been 5 different drug deals, but no. You know that thing about drugs enlightening you? Well, sometimes it's a little bit different than enlightening.
Maybe it was enlightening. The fact is, you've always probably despised what this is. Am I wrong?
I mean, I'm more at peace with it than some of my family.
Which is good. But I think you have to completely accept you are you, you're a unique being, and guess what? Be part demon and be proud of it. What if other people say anything? Who cares? Are you an actual monster? No. I'm speaking to you now. If you're a real monster, you probably would have done something awful now.
And to be fair, I did not burn that village. That was Wintress. I was in jail at the time.
Should probably go on about, like, something that will semi-imply that it's an accident, because Wintress is really bad at expressing that kind of thing, you know. Look. Everyone makes mistakes. You shouldn't think of what you are as a mistake. Think of you as a combination of the love between two beings that probably shouldn't have found each other if the universe would have said anything. But they did. And you were born. You and your siblings. You gotta begin to love yourself a little bit. And I think if you start doing that, you'll be able to start... Well, you don't need to open up to other people and start loving. That's completely up to you if you feel like someone needs a little love or not, whether platonic or otherwise. But getting yourself a little happier, I think, is something that we all like to do. And that it will help you with. And maybe you need a little less of this ale.
Suspicious glance as she drains the rest of her ale.
I mean, sounds like all of you have problems, and maybe the fact that you share them together help. Granted, some of you have definitely worse problems than others. Some of you have prejudice. Some of you have hatred for what you might be because of implications. Others of you are created to be what? A weapon or something similar. And you, Carrie, well, you're a strange expression of love that twists a lot of people's sensibilities. No one wants to think about that even the darkest of seeming souls can have love. But they can. I think your mother loved you. Now, whether she was truly a decent being, or maybe she was just as evil as the rest of them. But you know what? Love can be strong then. It doesn't matter. She had love for you, and for your father. And all the other stuff doesn't matter. You don't know of anything she did do you? You haven't heard any stories? And maybe she gave up all that she enjoyed doing for you. Or at least gave up the possibility, whether she enjoyed it or not, being a demon. For you and your siblings. Because she found you important. She wouldn't have had so many of you otherwise. It goes to show there was real love. So, be happy. Find some love, whatever form it takes, and especially find some love for you. And if you want, I do have a few books that might be able to help you.
Books?
Books.
Fucking love reading.
I think I can think of two that will assist you. The first one, well...
Eat, Pray, Love.
No. That'd be hilarious, but no.
The fantasy version of Eat, Pray, Love.
That would be hilarious, but no. The first one is a book on demonology. Understand where you come from, where your people come from, and things like that. It's best to understand your demon side, not keep it a mystery. I think that will help you a lot. And another that I think will help. A history of Erg Mirab. One of the most comprehensive ones. Got a copy of it, and I think you'd like it. I think knowing about the land you come from and your connections to it will help you a lot. To understand maybe not only your demon side a little more that way, but maybe your father, his side. The mortals of Urborg have always been a strong sort. They face a lot of danger. Roving dead, necromancers, liches, horrible invasions. They've stayed strong, very long. They stayed strong through most dangers. They stayed strong through the Cabal. And I think knowing about that strength that comes from it is going to be a good thing. And I think at some point, one of the things you're going to have to do is revisit them. I'm not saying to stay there. I'm not saying that you have to prove something by fighting someone or doing something like that. But just stepping foot in that land would probably be good for you. Because it means it won't be something that's threatening you. And the histories of the losses you have associated with it. But you should do that when you're ready. Well. Alright, I'll get those things for all of you. Why don't you relax a little bit more? I think your friend Radiant has some time she needs to spend with Mavel and the other angels of our order. Your angel friend, she was born with black matter, yes?
Yes.
The angels,
She told us.
the angels of our order are unique as they come here because they feel like they are missing something, and Serra sent them here. They embrace the black matter, so they change into it. It won't be quite the same, but they should be able to share some of their own experiences and help her understand a little bit more of who she is as a unique angel. Because, just like us, they're unique too. Don't let them fool you. Some of them can look very similar to each other, but they have their own personalities and ways of doing things, and they can make their own decisions. One of those tricky parts of angels. I do enjoy it when they get into a good conversation with them. They reveal the hidden nature. Similar to you, Carrie, again. Not all demons are what people imagine them to be. They're individuals. Granted, I'm sure there are plenty of them who have stories of the awful goals that they have. But not all of them have these kind of goals. We just hear the tales of the worst ones. Anyway, he's going to leave, and we'll take our second break then, as he heads off to grab some things for you. As you had therapy sessions at the isolated chapel.
Therapy.
They're a priest.
This is the second time therapy has come up in a D&D game in like
Yeah.
the past month.
Uh-huh.
You need some D&D therapy.
Was it a therapriest as well?
No, it's an actual therapist.
It was therapy that was very well needed for some members of the party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, So if you need a snack, drink, or use the restroom, go ahead and do that, and we'll be back in a few minutes for our last part. So see you in a second, folks. Alright, hey, so, what do you folks want to do for a while? You're not going to actually see Radiant for a few days.
I will try to meditate with my new incense.
So yeah, during that time though, Kaelin will come back with the following. Some incense for Claude. For Carrie, he's actually going to bring a couple of books. They seem very interesting topics. For Kazarin, he's actually going to give you like he's actually going to have you like see that they apparently have like a something down in the basement that is that you maybe could take a look at.
Ooh, I like tinkering.
It's an old mechanical man that was left here by some wizards to protect the place during the invasion. I think it was built in Talarian Academy. A combination of magic and artifice. Maybe you could see about repairing it. Or at least how it works a little bit.
Oh, I'm going to do just that and more.
And for you, Maxwell, he's going to present you a mask.
A new mask?
A new mask.
But I'm really fond of this one.
I'm not saying you can't keep it. But put this on. And
That's what on the
think
mask.
now think of how you looked in a mirror when you were alive. Can you remember that?
I do just that. I didn't have like a physical, like I guess description of how I looked, but
Yeah, but you're thinking of it, it kind of comes to mind, and he's going to give you a hand mirror. You see your face. Something you haven't seen in hundreds of years.
I like touch my face like that. Like
You can feel a face. The magic only lasts as long as the mask's there. You feel it. You should be able to feel where the mask is in you and understand where it is. But as long as you have it on, you can look like yourself.
I removed my glove to see if it like did the same for my hands.
Yeah?
By George, I feel alive. Minus the organs, but I feel alive. I try to take a swig of a healing potion and see if it works.
It technically won't heal you, but you can drink, and things don't spill everywhere.
I look below me, and there's no mess below either. I start prancing around the room in like happiness.
Uh-huh. Magic itself is only giving you a semi-physical body. Remember that it's really the magic itself which is giving you this. In areas where magic will cease to exist, or if you choose to not use it anymore, you look like your normal self. And there's one thing that you can't get rid of.
I stick out my tongue.
It's still metal. The
It's
fact
still
is,
the same.
it's physically replacing something. Now, granted, I think the problem with that is it's its own magic. And this magic just can't override it.
That's fair. I didn't really expect the tongue to get fixed, but I guess I could just say it's a prosthetic.
It's true. You can just fine.
Is it bad that part of me almost feels like I get the benefits of being alive, at least cosmetically, but without the cons of not having to eat or sleep?
You lucky motherfucker.
You kind of do. It's effectively, it's like it's alter self that you have on you.
Question, can he now play the Ordnance properly?
He's still... I think he can pretend to breathe, but he doesn't actually have organs. Is that
I snag Claude's pan flute, and I try to play it.
Because it's a little more powerful than a Hat of Disguise, because it's actually using Alter Self on you, not Disguise Self. So you physically are gaining a kind of pseudo body, but you're still not alive.
That's okay.
But he has lips.
I do have lips.
Do have lips.
But no lungs.
Not really lungs, per se.
So does that mean I just play like a flat note?
It's really quiet. It's just really quiet.
It's really quiet, yeah.
But you can kiss Otula.
You could kiss people.
Oh, you're right. I'm like, wait a minute. I have lips! Lotula!
Now you can make facial expressions.
Is Lotula in the room?
Sure.
Okay, I yell at Lotula. Look!
Oh. That's neat.
That's neat.
Maxwell,
Ouch.
I understand this is a great thing for you because you've been trying to come back to life and stuff, and this is at least semblance of it. But I did want to say something to you because I knew, like, with the way they were saying it, you might have had something to help you a little bit with this. I think you're good as you, so don't use this to cover up who you are.
I take off the mask for a moment, and I say, you mean you preferred this version of me?
No, I just prefer you, no matter what you look like.
That's really sweet.
I put my hand on my heart, and I kind of look down like I'm Jack Skellington or something like that.
Yeah.
Like when Sally just like tells her she loves him, and I give Lotula a hug.
Yes.
I put the mask, the new mask back on, and I keep the other one very, very close to me, as to not let it go or have it fall or shatter.
She's gonna actually help you, that you can actually like have it like as almost a decoration on the side of your belt, like covering over where your scabbard is, so you draw your sword from behind the mask.
Oh, dude, that's sick. Beneath the mask. I quite like this. I could get used to this.
And maybe someday we can find a way for this to be real.
I'd like that.
Alright. Well, you get to enjoy having some I look like a person, at least for a while, and I can totally pretend to be a person. I'm not actually digesting this.
I actually really like that scene. I wanted to comment on that.
I just want to know what happens
Very touching.
to the liquid eventually.
Probably transmutes with him?
Excuse me?
Probably. You probably have, like, a volume inside of you that you're holding into anything you would consume, because you're not actually eating anything.
Or does it takes the mask out? Does it just all fall out at
if you
that
would drink,
point?
like, a potion of healing, it would probably have its magical effects and, like, dissipate. Yeah, because it's kind of magical. But, like, you could technically drink and eat, too. It's just in you until you, like...
Oh, and then I turn into skeleton form, then it just, like...
I mean, magic might, like, have it meld in with the magic, so you're okay. Probably.
Lord.
I think it would be funnier if it just takes the mask off and it's like, oh, all the weight's out now.
Yeah. It's just like, it's not even, like, really chewed up or digested. It's just like, you're looking at an entire cake slicing them.
Well, no, he still has teeth,
Sure.
so it could be chewed.
Uh-huh. Sure. I like the idea of the entire cake slice in there. It's magic.
He's not just going, ow.
He might nowadays. Anyway, so you have your very nice and touching scene. Everybody is happy now, kind of. Carrie's enjoying books. Kazarin's checking out some kind of defensive golem in the basement that hasn't worked in quite some time. Claude's meditating and trying to get in touch with his other spirits. I don't know which way he's decided to go with that.
I'm trying to focus on at least not the evil ones.
Again, your choice will either to be kind of almost like a hive mind or assimilation. You'll have to tell me which way Claude will actually go with it. Do you want to become one with all of them, in which then you'll maybe change yourself a little bit that way by merging personalities? Or do you want to become the representation of a group, almost?
I am the Claude. Resistance is futile.
You're your own hive mind.
I'm my own hive mind.
Choices. Kazarin, why don't you make a check, though, on the thing? Your Tinker's Tools, I think it is, right?
Oh my god, dice rolling?
I know.
Yeah, I know. Shocking.
You had Constitution saves when you were trying to get drunk. That counted as dice rolling. God damn it.
Boom.
Right. Yeah, no. It's a very interesting piece of artifacts. It seems as though it probably was damaged in combat, so that's probably why it's non-functioning now. Short term, you probably couldn't repair it. Long term, maybe you're not guaranteed, I'd say. But for assessing it, it seems very interesting. And you can learn a couple of things about, like, how at least it looks like people construct golems and stuff. Because you don't hear about many nowadays being built. Occasionally,
it's basically like a dead warforged, essentially, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. It helps to have a +9 on that check.
Yes. It would have been like
Indubitably.
it looks like it might, and also you can tell it looks like it was originally repurposed from maybe an old golem that had probably been found in like an old artifice dig site. Probably they took one, repurposed it, kind of rebuilt it, improved upon it, that kind of thing, and then reused it again. So.
Very interesting.
You know that's probably the easiest way normally nowadays to make a golem is to find an old one and repurpose it, though there are people that can build new ones too. It's just very difficult to build a new one. So that's why...
Sure.
Yeah. There aren't
Those arcane cores that are essentially like radioactive probably were used as like a power source for a lot of them originally.
Yeah. And
those are super dangerous.
Yeah, the radioactive power cores that they were using. Magic radiation. It sucked.
Yeah.
They totally used a lot of them. Anyway, after you all kind of like spend a few days here, Radiant will meet up with you all like in one evening. Well, I spent some time with the angels here, and we talked about a lot of things, and I got to see what they do and things like that. And I think whatever we came here for, which each of us came here for, I think I can say I found it. I mean, I found my purpose back in the trials, at least for now.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all found something useful here.
Who's our
True.
new friend?
What was that?
Who's our new friend?
Oh, that's actually Max.
Oh, new magic?
Well, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, but yes, it is. I was hoping I would be able to fool you with believing it was actually me without magic.
Well, I unfortunately assumed that the chances of this place having what you needed was slimmer than you having magic to make yourself look like a person.
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong, but, you know, as the tumbling fool that I am, I could still hope.
True. It's always good to have hope.
I'm totally going to just take on your face for a second.
Wait, what happens if other people wear this mask?
Oh, I want to try.
I give the mask to Kazran first.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it on and see what happens.
Okay. Nothing initially. You do have to activate it. Like Max
You have
was
to
talking-
actually concentrate on what you want to look like, I think.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Details about the
I'm gonna
magic
look-
item. It is a
Attunement?
attunement item. I was forgetting the word attunement there for a minute. And effectively what it does is once each day you can choose to attune it to a new form. Effectively what it is.
Oh. So wait, I can look like anything then?
You would have to be that way. Anyone, but you'd have to be that way for a day.
So I can look like a very tall goblin then? That's what you're telling me.
Alter self, I think, can change size a little bit.
Well, I meant like facially. Can I look like Kazran?
You could
No.
look like Kazarin.
A tall.
A tall Kazran.
You transform your appearance, you decide what you look like, your height, weight, facial features, sound of your voice, hair length, coloration, distinguishing features of any. You can make yourself appear like a member of another race, though your statistics don't change. You also don't appear as a creature of a different size than you. Okay, so you can't change your size. And your basic stays the same. So you have to be bipedal. So you could be a large goblin, which would look really like a medium-sized goblin, which would be really weird looking.
A hobgoblin.
Or
But like,
long.
can I still copy someone else's face, but like keep my height, or no?
You theoretically, yes.
You can't change your size.
Okay.
Theoretically,
I assumed
yes.
it was just like a.
Well, you can
face.
change. You can't change your size category. You can alter your height slightly. Like you can be
Okay.
anywhere from like 4 foot to like 6.5 foot kind of thing.
Yeah. Basically what I can do.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at
But
just
the thing is,
regular-
like, Claude kind of can do that more at will because that's his natural thing. This is once a day I can have a form.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
It's limited because
Hey,
No, go
we
ahead.
can be twins.
I was gonna say it's limited because you can only have it like once a day.
So does that mean Kazran would look like a really short version of me?
If I wanted to.
Because he attuned to it separately, he'd choose a different form.
Oh.
He'd have to
Okay.
spend an hour attuning to it though.
It's a long time.
Yes.
Mine was way faster.
Yeah, I gave you the benefit of the doubt.
If you need to see the actual spell description, turns out I have that as a spell.
Yeah.
Oh, you just
There it
have
is.
that?
Very big.
Oh god, we
Artifice-
wait, it could be triplets.
You could be tiny one and two medium sized. A small
Right.
one and two
Yeah.
medium sized of the same thing.
All right, I take the mask back from Kazran.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it works for you. At least not now. I'm trying to play without the meta knowledge of it.
Well, as a magic like artifact, like probably Kaz could probably tell you it requires you to
Oh,
like
okay.
be attuned with it effectively.
Yeah, if you give me 11 minutes, I could tell you exactly what it does.
In Magic the Gathering terms, we can call it. It has an equip cost that has to be paid.
Yeah. There you
sure,
go.
research this.
It's
Tell me a bit
equipment.
more about it. I put on my other mask while I wait for Kazran to decipher it.
Yeah, I do the ritual identify, learn all that stuff about it, and explain it.
It's the
how
Mask
it
of
works.
Faces. It's called.
Mask of Faces. Once a day, you can determine what your appearance looks like. You can only do that once per day, so you can't keep switching it in and out. You need to learn the proper spell to do that. It requires you have to like sit with it for a while in order to get it to work. It just kind of clicked with you pretty quickly the first time, I guess.
And,
Otherwise, about not.
Its ability technically resets at dawn. So, like, granted, you could use it anytime throughout the day, but at dawn it resets that ability to switch. So, if you really wanted to push it off and be, like, really stupid like that, you could be like, I could do it twice in a day, because you do it right before dawn and then right after dawn, but that's, you know... Then you're timing something, like, really exactly, which is not always helpful and impossible.
Yeah, like, that's... maybe for, like, a final area scenario or something.
Like, we have to do something, and we need to, like, go in right at dawn. You're like, this is my advantage. I can use multiple faces. My multiple faces help.
Yeah. Interesting. As I slowly take the mask back and put it on my face.
Oh my god. Thank you, Lightning. Thank you.
Oh god, what did he say?
Dawn is from a
What did
different
Light
game.
say?
Because in my vampire game, someone named their character Dawn, so it's like, whenever I say, like, the coming of Dawn.
Oh god.
Oh,
I
no.
didn't
Damn it,
realize
Lightning.
that joke until so far in that that's why the character named herself Dawn.
Lightning, I'm gonna take away your girlfriend in my other game.
But that was the he reminded me of that. That wasn't Lightning though in the other game though. He just reminded me of that person doing it.
Oh, God.
It's wonderful, and I love that joke.
So I write down Claude's twin, or Maxwell's twin.
Okay.
Amazing.
I could be a female Maxwell.
How does that work?
I make a female like a female looking you. I'm your female twin.
Wait, you can just change into that? Or like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Claude, as a shape changer, can kind of alter himself. Like he's got easy forms, and what he can do is sort of like he can do generic versions of things other than his easy forms. He can kind of do those if he like studies someone for a little bit. If he studies you long enough, he can mimic you, and then if he has enough
That could be
time,
super helpful.
he can also then like do alterations. Like as he said, he can do a female version of you. The thing is, it's sort of like he has to like spend some time figuring out what that would look like, kind of things like that, to make it look realistic.
Yeah.
It's that changelings have like a appearance changing ability, naturally.
Right.
You've seen me look like Carrie.
I thought you'd transform to a different demon.
I also transformed into Carrie before for the hell
When
of
was
it.
this?
A few times.
Man, I missed that beat entirely. Huh. Neat. Anyway, enough about me and my mask. What else is going on?
I figured out the inner workings of an automaton.
A golem?
Something like that.
Pray tell.
It's very complicated. It looks like it was destroyed in combat before. I figured out kind of how it works. I'm not sure I could reactivate it without a lot more time with it.
Do you think it requires a specific power core, or could it be adapted to one of the newer versions that have been that seem to be a lot more difficult to create nowadays?
Oh, I hope it can be adapted. Otherwise, we'd have to deal with an incredibly volatile power source that could, at any moment, explode and kill people.
And it gives off it spreads disease and has terrible energy that causes problems around it. But would it?
True. So either we can adapt it and it can protect effectively, or we can't adapt it and it kills just as easily as it protects.
Well, do you think the efficiency would drop if we just adapt it? I think we could probably adapt it.
I mean, it's possible to figure something out. It's fun to remember that Radiant's an artificer. You might be able to figure out how to adapt.
How much damage did it take? What section of the body is it? Is the
It was large, like torso and up. Its legs were surprisingly intact.
So the muscle stranding would probably still be intact within it?
Hopefully, it's hard to tell in some of the places.
Well, it sounds like the anchor points might be damaged more if the central torso is damaged, along with some of the core systems.
True. The joints needed a little bit of work, but I'm pretty sure I've actually repaired the joints for the most part.
Yeah, that seems like it wouldn't be too difficult to do.
I mean, if we can convince them to let us take it along, I'd be happy to.
How will we transport it?
In my bag of holding.
We could ask.
It's not like they're using it, it was just sitting in the basement collecting cobwebs.
Is your bag of holding big enough?
There's an entire ladder in there.
And it's technically, it's like man-sized.
But I meant weight-wise.
Oh, weight-wise.
I doubt I have more than 100 pounds in there right now. Warforged in general are less than 300, and a bag of holding can contain at most 500.
Yeah, and I'd say it's comparable in size to Warforged, at least this one is. Even though it's probably a little bit more constructy than a Warforged, definitely.
As I say, worst case scenario, I turn into a giant and carry it where we're going.
I was gonna.
Yeah, but then you'd have
polymorph it.
I mean,
What?
Polymorph.
I don't think it would work. It's not really alive.
Oh, it doesn't count as a creature?
No, and even when it is alive, it has no actual intelligence and stuff. It's an automaton.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Like, if it was an actual Warforged, that's an entirely different being. But, like, something akin to that hasn't been created on this plane yet. And if it has, they've already been killed off and can't be recreated as the technology has been lost. The magic technology.
If it was during the Brothers' War, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and, like, all that stuff got nuked. Or the Theran dynasty, because it could have been something left over from the Theran. I mean, some things akin to intelligence have been created within constructs created during that time period, but again, not to the organic side, which a living construct is. Like, giving a construct a mind, that's not the difficult part. Giving an actual life, yeah.
Giving an automaton a soul is an entirely different beast altogether.
That's why Karn only got a soul when he basically took his creators.
Yeah!
That's why he became a planeswalker, because when Urza died, he got effectively a chunk of Urza's spark there, and totally became a planeswalker.
Hey, got your soul!
It was more that Urza gave it to him kind of thing, you know, as like a final kind of like, you know, you're my greatest creation kind of shit, but, you know.
Yeah, but then there's a whole host of problems that arose from that.
There are a lot of problems that arose from that, and still bothering the multiverse today. No one knows about New Phyrexia except for some planeswalkers. And that's a problem.
But either way, eventually we'll have yet another traveling companion as I continue to try to fix this golem, assuming they give it to us.
Sure, they will.
Nice. I have a pet project now.
Yeah, and Radiant can help you out with it.
Mm-hmm.
She has... How much does she have to...
Looking at each other like, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be very, very
She
fun.
only has 6 to tinker tools, but that's why she has 9 to alchemy. You know, because alchemy is her baby. But she's okay at tinker tools, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, it's 6 to thief tools. She also has 9 to tinker's tool. I'm sorry, she's the same as you. You both work together perfectly that way.
When you're a high enough artificer, you gain expertise in every tool that you're proficient with. So.
I think...
Oh yeah, every tool.
Fuck off.
Yes.
No.
The answer is no to whatever you were saying. Just no.
It was a dick joke. It was a poorly constructed dick joke.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right. Anyway, so what's your plans now? You've seemingly finished up here.
I guess back to the town.
Okay.
Do we have to go back to the other church, or are we good?
They didn't say we had to return there.
I think we should
Good.
be fine that we don't have to return.
I'm fine with it.
We can go see if your friend is still at the tavern.
Excellent.
Let's see here. Kazard, roll me a D100.
Beans, alright. 9.
He's not there anymore.
Fuck! Nah, beans, alright.
You had a 50-50 chance, and if you rolled 51 or above, he would have still been there.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Might still be able to run into him somewhere in your journeys. Maybe someday. Anyway, so. Alright, so you'll head back to the tavern and to the inn. Nim will kind of go, do you wish for me to look into arranging for a caravan to head out there the next time it's available?
Yeah, I don't think we need to stay here any longer than we need to.
Okay.
I don't want to stay here any longer than we need to. Let's go.
It seems like there had been a caravan that headed out like a few days ago, and that's where your Kobold friend headed out on. He managed to
I don't even remember his fucking name.
I will look it up here. Snaza.
Oh yeah,
Snaza.
the great Snaz.
Yeah, Snaza.
Well, next time.
Next time, Snaza. Next.
You'll meet his brother, Sneeza.
Sneeza. And the other brother, Frieza.
Oh god, I hope not. Oh, fuck do I hope not.
His power
I said
level-
next time, not next time on Dragon Ball Z.
You're kind of goading us onto that, so I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's the weird looking Kobold with a high pitched voice and doesn't really look like a Kobold. I'm just saying. And maybe has a power level over 9,000 or something. I don't know.
I hope not. We're only level 7.
You're only like level 7.
We're at level 7.
Level 9,000!
Alright,
And you,
so. Nim will come back to the tavern and be like, well, we'll have to stay a few more days. It seems like it'll be a little bit before the next caravan heads out, but there will be one that we can get involved with.
alright.
Are you going to do anything over the next couple of days?
Drink.
Drink, hang around. It's a nice town. There's not really much to do around here. As being part of the caravan, you can get some desert gear that might help. Certainly.
Yes.
And there will be plenty of supplies along the ride.
Okay.
Anything else, or are we just gonna plan for moving on at the beginning of the next episode to a trip across the desert?
Playing cards.
How many sets of playing cards have you bought?
Just one.
Just the one?
Yeah. And dice. He's got playing cards and dice.
And dice, yeah.
Look, maybe Claude has a gambling addiction. Maybe one of his souls had a gambling addiction and it spread onto him.
I'm going to be purchasing supplies to repair the automaton.
Okay.
And eventually the automaton will become the helmsman of my airship.
Oh boy.
But, okay, so you'll work on purchasing simple supplies. Just tell me how much you're spending. Like, just mark off how much you're spending on it, and we'll use that as part of, repairing. I'll come up with an entire system of, how long and how much it will be repaired, and we'll... the more you spend, probably the easier it will be, because you have more parts. But I'm going to tell you, this city probably is not going to have the best selection of parts. So you'll have...
Right.
It's a decent-sized, kind of mid-level city, but probably you're going to want to literally, wait. You could probably get, some basic parts here.
Basic parts, I'm guessing, going to run me, maybe 5 gold.
You could probably get between 5 to 20 gold worth of basic parts. That would probably help you.
I'll stick with just the 5, save more money for later.
Okay, you get a couple of, core components, some general pieces of metal, which you can either, adapt or would replace things in there, things like that. Very simple
Yeah.
pieces.
Mm.
So. Alright, yes. So, anybody else doing anything else? Karen doing anything else over the next couple of days while waiting for the caravan to leave?
No, just keep reading. I don't exactly have money, so I can't spend it.
Mm-hmm.
So...
I'm going to also meditate.
Okay. And Maxwell, you doing anything in particular?
Not really.
Okay.
Enjoying having a body.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, a few days will pass, and the caravan will begin to get together, and that is where we're going to dive in. We're going to end a little early, just because that's a really good stopping point, and next time we can have the caravan leaving for the journey called Erg Mirab, the Great Desert in South Aronia. This journey will take you far, and your next stop, of course, will be Llanowar. Home
Will
to
it
Nim.
take us wide?
What?
Take us wide.
I mean, it's a pretty wide desert, so probably.
So it'll take us far and wide.
Yeah, we can say yes. We're gonna say a probable yes. Just a probable yes.
Probable yes. Got it.
Probably yes.
How many more times can we say that?
More of them. We haven't said them enough times.
Probably not.
Nope.
So are we going to go around?
Yeah, we're gonna do our thing going around. So yes, just a note for you though. I'm pretty sure this map is relatively accurate. That you're going to be heading kind of northwesterly, kind of, to get across Erg Mirab towards Llanowar. You will probably separate out when you hit the northwestern mountains of the desert to head to Llanowar, as the actual caravan itself will stay closer to the coast and head towards Benalia. So there you go.
I keep wanting to call it Lawnmower.
I mean, that was the nickname used a lot for the elves. I'm not saying it's, should have been what it's been mentioned before. But let's go around and have people give shout-outs, information, etc. about who they are, where to find them, things like that. And we'll start with Mads, because we're going to do reverse color order, like we always do.
Hi, I'm here, but also, my friend and one of my players, Bubbly Moth, has started streaming our Wednesday games. So, Wednesday, 7:30 Central Standard Time on Bubbly Moth on Twitch. Not on YouTube Gaming, because fuck YouTube Gaming.
Wow. Do
I
you
mean-
stream too, Mads?
No.
Oh.
I have potato for internet. Raw, uncooked, dirty potato.
So, like,
So-
something
Dear.
like Discord works. Beyond that,
Are you
though.
sure it's not potato?
Listen, Discord barely works like 20% of the time.
And then we'll move on, though, to Fish.
Hi, I'm Fish. This week you can find me out back of your local record store selling bootleg Bruce Springsteen albums.
Man, there's like
How
one
do you
of
make a
those still in
album?
existence.
Record stores? There's one like down the street from me.
There's a whole.
There's like two.
Oh, that's right. They had a
Huh?
resurgence because people like records. Because
Yeah.
There's a
reasons.
cat.
I have a huge record collection.
There
My
I
dad
are.
does
thought there
too.
was a resurgence of them.
But it is bootleg albums, like on vinyl, which is it's hard to find bootleg Bruce Springsteen albums, but I make them somehow.
I was gonna say, how are you making an album?
Legally, I'm not.
Nice.
And of course, we move on to Lee.
Hey guys, I'm just Lee Belmont, your noble vampire hunter. I stream on Twitch too. I've speedran 100 games, which is kind of neat. Yeah, and
Very impressive.
thank you. And if you like wholesomeness, comedy, some semblance of skill, then you know where to find me.
Yes. Look, I always go for some semblance of skill in most of the things I do. Look, the only game I can say that I'm really good at is I can at least beat the second to highest level difficulty in Civ 6 fairly okay.
That's pretty awesome.
Not perfectly, because it can still dick you. But, like, there's a good chance of it if I'm doing that. Not the top level. Deity sucks. Anyway, Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe. You'll find me here on Tendis' channel.
Yep.
I should see everyone Saturday for discussing tabletop, Sunday for grinding gears, my game that I run on his channel, and then again next week for more children.
Cool. Insert what would Lindsay say here, which would probably be both.
You're a poo-poo head.
No, not always. Sometimes it's nice, but then it's also sometimes it's insulting, and then sometimes it's both nice and insulting. So we'll go for probably nice and insulting, like something about supporting me yet calling me a poo-poo head. You know.
I'm Tantus, and I'm stinky.
I'm stinky, but you can find me here, and you should. It's like, oh, that's so nice and insulting. Well, great. Nice salting. But anyway, yeah, so I'm Cantus Naravan Dracovin, your illustrious DM and host here on the channel. You can find me most days of the week. I do stream at least, nowadays, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 days of the week. Most of that's tabletop-related stuff. If you're looking for more role-playing games that I run on this channel, of course, there's I'm a Player over on Grinding Gears on Sundays, and that's 7 p.m. EST, as Joe said. Other games that I run that I'm personally the DM for are on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., still EST. I run Records of Evil, a lawful evil D&D game set in modern-day Faerunes. That's a very interesting one. And then at 2 p.m. that same day is Legacies of Kain, a Vampire the Masquerade game, using the V20, the 20th anniversary system. It's a very fun one, and they're back towards the back end of that one. Then, of course, you can always rejoin us here next week at 8 p.m. when we started here for more crazy actions as they cross a desert and maybe not get into trouble along the way. Maybe, probably not. We'll see.
Or just get randomly arrested for no reason.
I mean, they had bad reasons, but they had reasons. I'm not defending their reasons. They didn't have good ones. But guess what? You beat the rap.
But did they have raisins?
No, that's a giant brain in Futurama.
Look, it's been 3.5 months since we fought anything. We're gonna get in a fight.
I hope so.
Uh-huh. You're like, you don't go to many places and get into many trouble where you're like fight stuff. You're a lot of like, you know, role-playing stuff. And
We're just walking.
You just walk in places.
Yeah, but you can't simply walk in.
I mean,
we're not gonna fucking walk into Mordor.
I mean, you're not going to Mordor. That wasn't on the list.
No, but eventually we'll go to Urborg, which is basically the same thing.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that one.
Can we go to Dormor instead?
No.
That's just a place that has a lot of doors, and that's about it. It's not really fun.
God, no, please, no more doors.
No, doors! My trauma caused by doors now. Yeah.
Okay, fine. There's a door in the water.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, that's the worst.
Anyway.
That's Carrion's worst nightmare.
True.
It's kind of a terrible nightmare for her. So yeah. So yep. And I might stream some other times throughout the week, doing some stuff like Fridays. Usually we have a game in the evening. If we do it this week, hey, you know, I'll announce it on my channels. That's with a bunch of other people that use Cyber games, and that's about it. Otherwise, you know, thanks for joining me. There's various ways to support this place here. If you're watching this on YouTube, just follow or subscribe on YouTube. If you're here, follow's great. Subscription would be better, but you don't need to, etc., etc. You know, all that jazz that people use to shout out stuff via the Patreon, things like that. Discord to see announcements and to hang out. Okay, I think I shouted out enough, like, shouty stuff that I can think of. So, we're gonna head off now. You enjoy the rest of your evening, rest of your day, rest of your week. Stay safe, stay sane, and hopefully you'll be here next week where we'll probably be not sane, but you can enjoy it, and then you can be sane. Yes! Anyway, farewell everyone!
Bye.